always do such a great job. And thank you to our amazing tech team. And you guys are doing a great job. And thank you for the patience that all of you are having too as they continue to navigate. We're so grateful. So this morning, I want to share a little bit about change and intention and a little sprinkle of resolution in there. So as we've entered the new year, it's an opportunity for us to anticipate what's ahead. And hopefully that comes with some joy and some hope. Well, hang on. So for some of us, there's a sense of relief that last year's over. And so we don't have to do last year again. So for many years, I fell into the tradition of New Year's resolutions. And it was it was always around the change of some undesired behavior or habit or trait. I would resolve to change something. And it generally entailed a sense of sacrifice, or felt like a sacrifice to me. So it was always letting go of something, losing weight, or quitting smoking. And more times than not, I had a pretty long list. And I would often proclaim or announce to the people around me, like, this is my resolution, my New Year's resolution. This is pre-Facebook. This is my New Year's resolution. And as I look back, I was really looking for some accountability. I wanted to be held accountable because I didn't really have that willpower, instead of looking for support. And some years I was able to accomplish those things that I had set out to do. And other years I'd get in a couple months and I'd forget about it or just honestly give up. When I shifted into setting intentions at the start of the new year, I've had a lot more success. And of course, we can set intentions anytime during the year, but there's some potency around stepping into the new year. It's a fresh start, a new beginning. So what is the difference between resolutions and intentions? Well, resolutions often focus on the negative. They can be strict and they shine a light on the things that we lack, and often they don't even work. Intentions, on the other hand, focus on the positive, and they highlight those areas in our life that we are doing really well and the things that we do have. And they're adaptable and they do work. So all of this starts with the desire to change something, changing a behavior, a habit, a trait, and it can feel really, really difficult. And often this perceived difficulty comes from years and years of conditioning, because in this human experience, we're hardwired to push against or to resist change. And in fact, our brains can perceive change as some sort of a threat, and it can activate that fight or flight response for us. So you guys know how I love research and going down those rabbit holes. One thing leads me into another. So I did find the top 10 reasons, somebody's top 10 reasons, that change can be difficult. And they're not in any particular order. Impatience, not having patience. So I know I often want to experience results immediately, and I can lose track of the fact that change takes time to really root in for me, because it isn't just a switch. Change isn't just a switch that I can go over and flip on. It takes work, steady work, and sometimes at a slow pace. Fearing the unknown. So fear of change can come up for us. It can mean stepping into the unknown. And that sensible aspect of ourselves can kick into overdrive, because it's hard to prepare for things that we don't know or something that we haven't experienced yet. Effort and time. Change can take a substantial effort, and we may need to endure a little bit of uncomfortableness, some uncertainty, and work at it every single day until we develop and become what we want to be or what we're striving for, building that life that we desire. But here lays the struggle. We can miss that the effort required is absolutely worth it. I know there's lots of times that when I'm working on something and I'm really having to push hard, I'm putting a lot of effort into it, and I'm praying, please let this be worth it at the end. And more times than not, it is. Self-control and routine are tiring. It can be really exhausting going through the work to implement change. It can take a lot of discipline and self-control. And we can feel drained as we're fighting off those temptations to return to our old ways, those old behaviors, or those old ways of being. And sometimes it's just easier to give in. Worrying about what other people think. So when I was newer on my journey, on my spiritual journey, I had a wonderful spiritual teacher. And she shared with me what other people think of me is none of my business. And I thought, how stupid. It's so stupid. Like, what do you mean? And she would repeat it to me. And eventually it began to resonate. And I understood what that meant behind. So if she's listening, sorry about that. Thought that was stupid. Because it can keep us constrained and constricted. And even if we have that strong desire to change something about ourselves, our situations, or just our life in general, we can find it difficult if we continue to consider other people's opinions. Being afraid of failure. I'm sure none of us want to fail or be deemed as a failure. It doesn't feel good. And I really work to remember that there's failure and then there's not even trying at all. Fear of failure is another reason change is so difficult sometimes, because it can prevent us from taking those small steps forward. Lack of purpose. Sometimes we can feel like nothing in our lives needs to change, and we just go about living our lives like we always have. And then perhaps we know or we feel that change is necessary in our lives, but we're not willing to put the work in, which comes in lack of motivation. So we need motivation to encourage us, to improve, to act upon. And that lack of motivation can make our change journey really, really tough. Sometimes we try to go at it alone. And we can make it more difficult for ourselves as we're on this change journey if we insist on doing it alone. Connecting with others during this process can help us open up and receive support or assurance, motivation, those little nudges. And I love the saying, no man is an island, or no woman is an island, no human is an island. And it's okay for us to ask for help from others because it's not a sign of weakness. Fear of embarrassment, which runs parallel to the fear of failure. And it's especially true when we want to change, the change that we want to make is completely different from the way that we've been living our lives. That fear can halt us from taking that leap into something new, that fear of embarrassment. So what are some things that can make our change journey easier? Well, defining our purpose, to why we want to change something. And what do we want to achieve by this change? I'm sure there's lots of questions that you can ask yourself, but asking some questions can help us set our goals. And remembering that failure is okay. Even if it's uncomfortable and it's hard to accept, it's okay. And what if we embrace that we're always learning and that there's no limit to getting back up? We try, maybe we fail, we start over. We try, we start over. We have endless possibilities. I was talking to my mom one time and she said, we were talking about, I don't even know what the situation was. And she said, I never worry about you because you always land on your feet. And I thought, so not true. It's so not true. I often land on my hind end and I choose to get back up. Sometimes I wallow a little bit before I stand up, but there's a choice to get back up. Maybe it's resiliency. Maybe it's motivation or determination. It's probably stubbornness mostly. But we don't need to allow failure to hinder us. Small steps, taking small steps. So there's a Japanese method of improvement called Kaizen. And basically it's 1%. You choose to become 1% better each day. And so even though it seems like it's a very small percentage, over the year, it really compounds and it can be quite remarkable. So for example, if my doctor wants me to have less sugar in my diet, I can start by reducing my sugar intake, just that 1% each day. And then that subtle change, that subtle reduction, with that, eventually I can eliminate it from my diet completely, or at least significantly reduce it. So starting with small increments that are easiest for us individually. And this can lessen that resistance, and we have a higher chance of success. Environment. So designing our environment to suit the change that we are implementing. So for me, this is more of a practical approach than simply relying on willpower. So if I am working on sugar, I try really hard not to keep the sweets in my house or the processed sugars in my house. Now, church is a different story because I saw some cookies over there. However, this is when I can use that Kaizen method and I go, okay, that 1%, okay, instead of having 3 or 4 cookies, maybe I just have 1, so I'm not limiting myself, but I'm making a conscious choice to reduce that sugar because I'm not going to give it up completely where I'm at right now. Connecting with others. It's helpful when others share our motivation. And when we include our friends and family, maybe they're going to hop on board. Maybe they'll be motivated to change with us. But at the very least, they'll offer support. So I'm going to circle back to intentions. When we set intentions, we are making a commitment to ourselves that we are going to take actions toward our vision. I'm going to read that one more time. When we set intentions, we are making a commitment to ourselves that we are going to take actions toward our vision. So looking at short-term intentions can help us decide what's important to focus on each day. So not only the tasks that we're doing, but the emotions or the feelings around that, around when we're doing them. So for example, today my intention is to focus on bleep, 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 and I'll approach it with, and then you add the emotion. So for me today, my intention is to focus on a certain project at work. And I'm going to approach it with curiosity, motivation, and a little bit of joy. And this helps my intention to be clear, and I can keep that in the forefront of my mind. So if I feel myself kind of veering off, it's easy for me to bring myself back and focus in on that intention for the day and the feelings that I want to have when I'm doing that task. So looking at longer or extended time frame intentions, that can help steer or guide us in the direction that we want to go. So it's like a blueprint or a roadmap. And it helps us stay the course when things start to feel really, really tough. And we can imagine and visualize that intention, whether it's a new home, a better job, building our business, whatever it is. And it helps us to gravitate in the direction of that goal and for the universe to see that and bring that forward to us as well. So as we set an intention, we decide what we want and what we're working towards. We write it down, we get clear, we get concise. We don't limit ourselves. Dream big. We visualize ourselves achieving our intention. We take action, creating an action plan, taking those small steps forward. And then we celebrate our success. We celebrate in gratitude. We're grateful to be able to recognize the opportunities to help us take those steps forward. And many of us are very well versed in intention setting, and we know the power and the practice of manifestation. Are we deciding and then dreaming big, writing it down, visualizing what we want, and then we just wait and just sit on it? It reminds me of, as I was writing this, I kept hearing that set it and forget it. It was like a slow cooker infomercial. You put in all your ingredients, you get everything ready, you turn it on, and you just set it and forget it. And then you come back and there's this beautiful meal waiting for you. Do we approach our intention setting like that? I know sometimes I've held an intention and I've prayed on it, I've meditated on it, not taking much more action than that, and it's come into fruition. It's pretty magical. It doesn't happen all the time because most of the times I have to take action. I have to do some amount of work. So I make that commitment to take action towards my vision. And there's so many methods of intention setting: meditation, prayers, exercises, rituals around the new moon, the work that Casey does with intention setting, Sister Circle. There's the Power of 8 that Tatiana's begun, vision boards. I think we have something coming up soon. Lots of support in our little community to help encourage each other and motivate each other to work towards those intentions, those goals, those visions. So whatever process or practice resonates with you, I want to invite you and to encourage you. I'd love to challenge you, each of you, to dream big and make those moves forward, even if you feel like those steps are really small or insignificant. Keeping your eye or your mind's eye focused on that vision. And remembering that each of us have the power to change our experience, change our situation, change our lives. Because the possibilities are infinite and we are worthy. Before our friends online came on, I shared the song by One Republic, I Lived. It's one of my favorite songs. And I was introduced to it about a decade ago, and it had a different meaning to me at that time. But the lyrics ring so true. The only way you can know is give it all you have. And until my moment comes, I'll say, I did it all. I swear, I lived. So with that, I'd like to move us into a short meditation. And I invite you to get comfortable in your seat, just settling in, feeling your feet on the ground, maybe closing your eyes, and taking a nice deep breath in, inviting the energy of the new day, allowing that breath to fill your belly, and exhaling. And taking another deep breath in, feeling that fresh air going all the way to the tips of your toes, and exhaling when you're ready. And just begin to find your own natural rhythm of breath. And you can place your hands on your heart if that feels right for you. Beginning to feel the warmth of your skin. Noticing the beating of your own heart. Connecting to your heart. Connecting to your desires. Connecting to yourself. Nice deep breath in. And exhale. Today, in this moment, I am grateful. I have gratitude for my breath, gratitude for my body, gratitude for my life, gratitude to live another day, gratitude for the people who love me, and gratitude for the privilege of the people that I love. Gratitude for food and shelter. Gratitude for the pain that teaches me. Gratitude for the joy that guides me. And thank you for this day. Taking another nice deep breath in. Just a gentle release, exhale. And today I choose love, to be love, to give love, to receive love. Today I choose kindness and I choose grace. And may I listen to my inner voice with attentive ears and courageously act upon those words, trusting my own inner guidance that it will always lead me down the best path for me. May I move through any pain with bravery and tenderness and bestow others with mountains of grace. May I know when to push and when to let go, when to be tough and when to melt with softness. May I accomplish those things that fill myself and others with joy. And may I contribute at least a drop into the ocean of goodness for the world. May I be whole and may I be love. Just allowing those words to resonate in your heart and in your spirit. And just gently moving yourself back into this time and space, wiggling your toes and your fingers, and opening your eyes when you're ready. Okay. That was nice. That was nice. And it was loud enough. It was loud enough. Got myself all relaxed and threw myself off. Okay, now we're going to move into the offering portion of our service. We appreciate what you're able to give. I remember being in a service one time when they said, not this service, that said, reach deep into your pockets. The Lord needs your money. Reach deep. But we appreciate when you do reach deep in your pockets.
I've heard somewhere they count it and then go back around and collect again.
Yeah. Are you sure that's not?
Didn't pay the electric bill, folks.
Well, we appreciate anything that you can give, whether it's in the monetary form or your time, your talents, your service. It all helps to build and continue to maintain and support this wonderful home spiritual center. And for our friends online, it is, if you'd like to give on PayPal, paypal.me/homecentersalem. So we're grateful for those gifts online. So just take your gift, whether it's in the form of money, if it has some lint on it from reaching so deep, whatever it is, and just put it between your hands and let's just charge that up. Just charge it up. We know that it's going to bless us. It's going to come back to us 100-fold. And we know that it will do wonderful things to support this amazing center. And we say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen.